Hi, this is Michelle Kasky from homeschoolyyourboys.com, and today I want to address a fear that some of us homeschool moms have. This was actually sent in to me by one of my readers, and this mom writes, "My biggest fear is that my kids will not have rich friendships and relationships." And that is something that sort of goes along the lines with the whole socialization question. If my kids aren't in school all day and the majority of kids are in school all day, how are my kids going to have friendships with other kids? And fortunately, there are lots of opportunities for our kids who are homeschooled to form relationships with other kids. And I'm going to just list off a few of them that my boys have had the opportunity to participate in over the years. They have been part of the church youth group. We've also been part of homeschool co-op, and they've gotten to know kids in that co-op, and that's been great for us. We've also been part of groups where the kids are going on different field trips together, and just once a month going on a field trip, or you can even do it more often depending on the age of your kids. And that's a wonderful way for them to just kind of hang out and learn some new things, and for you to get out of the house. And that's been, when you do that with the same group of kids month after month, they get to know each other and they have a lot of fun together. Another way that homeschoolers can develop relationships is if they take a class or two outside of the house. We've had opportunities for my boys to take hands-on science classes at it's called the Homeschool Building here in where I live, in the city where I live. And a science teacher would actually teach just one class. The class would be like 3 days in a row, and they would learn, they did like trying to think. They launched rockets one time. They learned how to build rockets from scratch, and then they were launching rockets, and they've learned things about robotics and some different things that I don't necessarily have all the supplies for here at my house. And it also just helped them to kind of sit in that classroom environment and get to know some other kids. So that's been great for us. We've also had opportunities where my boys have gone to a nearby Christian camp, and they basically had nature classes, and those would be like one full day once a month, and they did that for the full school year, and that was an amazing experience. My boys did that, I think it was 3 years in a row, and quite a lot of the same kids went, and they got to know those kids, and they got to know the camp counselors, and they had a lot of fun getting to know the people. Not only was it good for them to learn all the different science things, but it also helped them to just form relationships with other kids, and yeah, that was great. Some of those relationships they still maintain to this day. My boys have also attended camp in the summer since they were probably in second or third grade. They have attended camp, and that's an amazing way for them to get to know other kids. They would, quite often at the end of the week, they would exchange email addresses, and my boys didn't have an email, but they would give the kids my email address so they could continue to talk to each other, and my boys have absolutely loved that. That's been a highlight for them for many years. My boys also like attending a film camp, which is just a day camp in our area, but quite a lot of the same kids go to that year after year, and they have loved getting to know those kids. And a lot of times when you put your kids into situations for them to learn things, it's not just about the learning. Part of it is also forming the relationships. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Other things, my boys are on a basketball team. There's all sorts of sports that they can get involved in, and the basketball team that my boys are on is actually part of a homeschool league, so all the kids that are on it are homeschooled. I know some people will have their kids participate in sports through a public school, but I've always loved it if you have the opportunity to do a homeschool league. My boys have also been part of Boy Scouts. There's just plethora of opportunities that your kids can get involved in, and when they get involved in those things, they just make a lot of friendships with other kids. So I would say that the fear that your kids aren't going to be able to develop friendships is it's not something that's going to happen. You do have to be more intentional about making friendships when you're a homeschooler, because your kids aren't with other kids every day, all day long, like they are if they were in school. But as long as you make an attempt, there are lots of opportunities for us to get our kids out there and to help them to make friends. I recently had a mom who said, you know, Michelle, all those are wonderful opportunities, but I can't take advantage of any of those because we are a one-car family and my husband takes the car to work every day. So I can't go on the field trips and I can't have my kids being part of those classes. And so my kids, you know, what do I do? How do I help my kids form friendships with other homeschoolers? And my advice to her was that she could have her home be like a home base for some of these activities. That if she would invite other homeschoolers to come to her house, that her kids would be able to hang out with the other kids without them having to drive anywhere. So, you know, when your kids are little and you want to set up a play date at a park or whatever, have it at your house instead. You know, I know it might not be quite as convenient because you have to kind of pick up the house a little bit, but that would be one way that you could, you know, still help your kids to be able to socialize and everything with other kids without having to leave your home. If your kids are a little bit older and they really don't want to have a play date anymore, there are plenty of other reasons that you can invite people over. I know we've had another homeschool family that we used to get together with, and we would do art lessons together. It made it a lot more fun. We would actually get a small book out about the artist, whatever artist we wanted to focus on, and we would read that book to the kids so they had at least a little bit of a background on the artist. And then we would attempt to do an art project together that was kind of in the same vein of the type of art that artist did. And it was a lot more fun for my boys to do that with their friends, a couple of friends, than it would have been if we would have just done that on our own. And we have always toyed around with the idea of starting a film club. My boys love making films and editing films. And we have been part of co-ops before where I've actually taught a class where the kids would write a script and they would do all the acting and they would film it, and then we brought the footage back home and my son edited it all and put it together and made, you know, an amazing movie out of it. And we thought that would be really fun to do here, you know, just invite a few friends over, spend the day filming, you know. I've heard of people doing book clubs where they have all the kids read the same book and then they get together and they discuss that book. You know, whatever your kids are interested in, there are amazing opportunities that you can provide for your kids in order to help them socialize with other homeschoolers. So the next time you start to worry that your kids aren't going to develop friendships or that they're going to have a hard time in that area, then try to be intentional about setting up opportunities either for them to attend something outside of your home with other kids or for you to invite other people back into your home. And it really doesn't have to be that much work. You can kind of, especially if the kids are little, just let them play. It doesn't have to be anything organized. And if they're a little bit older, then give them the idea and let them run with it. You can have the parents drop off the kids and let them do their thing, or you can have the moms invite them to stay, and then you can have some time, you know, having fun socializing with them. It's totally up to you. So anyway, hopefully that gives you some ideas and ways that your kids can help to develop some friendships. And if you have any other ideas or ways that you have helped your children to develop relationships over the years, I would love to hear from you. So if you could leave a comment below and let me know some different ideas that you might have, I would really appreciate that. And if you could do me another favor and just hit thumbs up or like on this video if it has been helpful or encouraging to you at all, I would really appreciate that as well. So again, this is Michelle Caskey from Homeschool Your Boys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.